can't take the sky from me.
You have 9 people on this ship with incredibly different personalities, worldviews, religious beliefs, sexualities, values. They're all radically different. All of their ways of living contrast. All of their ways of thinking clash. All relationships take work. All relationships have arguments. All relationships have you don't see eye to eye. But what's beautiful to me about this team is how they accept influence from each other. And they come to form a family. Hello and welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist. I don't care, I'm still free.
I'm Alan Seawright, professional filmmaker. You can't take this guy from me.
I'm so excited about today's episode. Actually, I don't think I've ever been more excited for any of our episodes. Why?
I don't think you've ever been more excited for anything in your entire life, including the birth of your children.
And you want to know why, folks?
Because we're going to talk about the show that is the reason this show exists.
Firefly. Oh, okay. So, it was 2005. We'd been roommates for about a month. You were telling me about this movie, Serenity, coming out. Wasn't super interested in going, and you're like, no, because it's based on the show. It's the best show ever.
Best show ever.
I just worked a grave shift, 11 at night to 7 a.m., and I had class at 2 in the afternoon.
And I was like, there's an 11 o'clock showing. We could go.
And I'm like, I want to sleep, man.
I'll pay.
Okay. We're driving to the mall. We went and caught Serenity, which is the film continuation, finalization of this story. By the time it was done, I'm like, wait, so there's a whole show of this? There's a DVD of this? You have the DVD?
Mm-hmm. We just went home and just started watching Firefly.
Like I dished two Kaliche
I think we went and got burritos.
That weekend cemented this.
Yes.
And cemented this friendship, and we bonded not just by watching it, but by talking about it.
Yeah.
And so we're going to give you a little taste of what that looked like all those years
Welcome
ago.
to our college apartment.
Well, it was also the first unofficial cinema therapy as we just broke down the themes
really was.
and the filmmaking.
This was the first time that we sat down and just for hours picked apart a movie and what we loved about it and why and
yeah, or in this case a TV show.
Right.
And we're breaking our own rule because
we make the rules. We can do whatever the hell we want.
There are no rules.
That's right. So what I want to talk about today is unifying as a team. Firefly has actually had an incredible impact on me as a person, and I would very easily rank it as my all-time favorite television show because of the impact it has had on my worldview, how I approach people, how I approach people who are different and see the world differently, and my whole desire to unify. A lot of it, this is like ground zero.
Yep.
So we're going to pick apart 8 principles. Let me see if I can do that. 8.
There you go.
8 principles. I've had hands for 41 years, right?
I'll figure them out eventually.
8 principles for uniting a team. Let's get started with number 1, serve without judgment. If you've not seen it, it's 500 years in the future. We've used up all our resources. America and China are the only cultures that survive globalization. We have spread out into different planets which we can terraform to inhabit. There's no aliens, it's just people. There was a civil war where a group called the Alliance tried to unify everybody by limiting freedom of choice and freedom of thought.
Right.
And just getting everyone to think the same. And the Alliance is actually right about a lot of stuff.
About most stuff. It's objectively better to live in the Alliance than anywhere else, unless you disagree with them. But you probably wouldn't. But still, it's not
it's
awesome.
the force. It's the force component of it, not the force, but like that they forced you to comply.
Correct.
And Malcolm Reynolds fought in the Civil War, lost, and now he has a ship. And it's like Ocean's 11 meets Magnificent 7 in space. They pull heists, they're guns for hire.
It's pretty much just Han Solo, but he's got a horse. Because everywhere they go is the Old West for some reason.
And what I love most about Firefly is you have 9 people on this ship with incredibly different personalities, worldviews, religious beliefs, sexualities, values. They're all radically different, and they come to form a family.
Yeah.
So in this first scene, we're going to have the preacher. He's a celibate, devout Christian priest. And the companion, who's a courtesan. She's a Buddhist bisexual courtesan who's very sexually liberated. You couldn't get 2 more different characters.
But they're both servants in their own way, in their own sphere, right?
This is one of their interactions after the captain calls her a whore.
Yeah.
Ibble person.
That's not what he calls her.
If I'm intruding,
Not at all. I expected you.
couldn't really say the same.
So, would you like to lecture me on the wickedness of my ways?
I brought you some supper, but if you'd prefer a lecture, I've a few very catchy ones prepped. Sin and hellfire. One has lepers.
I think I'll pass. But thank you for this.
The captain said you might like it. I was surprised at his concern.
For a lowly whore.
It was unjust of him to say that.
Believe me, I've called him worse. Anyway, I suspect he has more interest in making you uncomfortable than me.
He's not wildly interested in ingratiating himself with anyone. Yet he seems very protective of his crew. It's odd.
Why are you so fascinated by him?
Because he's something of a mystery. Why are you?
Because so few men are.
Oh man, the writing on this show.
It's very good. It's very, very good.
I've made no secret. I mean, we don't talk about it much on the show, but I'm a man of faith. And Firefly caught me at a time when I was a man of faith, struggling not so much with my faith as much as...
So much as like, how do I not be a dick about it?
Yes. Yes. Because I looked around at a lot of other people and there was a lot of harsh judgment and a lot of my beliefs need to be your beliefs and a lot of just toxic religiosity.
Yeah.
You know, and I found that I was a person of faith that I didn't feel like I fit in.
Right.
I love when he says about the captain calling her a whore and he says, it was unjust of him to say that.
Yeah.
Have you come to lecture me? I brought you supper. You know, and then when he talks about the lecture, it's really just to make her laugh.
He's got a joke, yeah.
Yeah, and so the first thing is to serve without judgment.
Mm-hmm.
When you're trying to unify a team, you're going to have people who see the world differently.
Right.
And you can actually learn and grow from one another because of that process if you approach this as service without judgment.
If you like what you're seeing here on our YouTube channel, but want even more of it, come join us over on Patreon. Become a Cinema Therapy superhero, or hero, or sidekick, or innocent bystander. You'll get exclusive content like early access to ad-free director's cuts of episodes, live Q&As and chats, filmmaking and therapy deep dives, behind the scenes, bloopers, and a whole lot more. Plus, you get to be part of our awesome community on Patreon and Discord, where we have an exclusive section just for our patrons. Come hang out with us, me and Jono, who's not here, but me, us, and all the other awesome people who are part of this Cinema Therapy community. Go to patreon.com/cinematherapy and join today. You will be our hero.
The other thing is to see the good in the people you disagree with, which is something that not just the priest does, but the companion does.
Yeah, for sure.
She probably thinks he's an uptight fuddy-duddy based solely on his beliefs.
Right.
But she sees who he really is, which is a man of compassion and integrity. Mm-hmm. And then both of them see the captain who's putting on airs of being a total dick to everybody.
Yeah, you know, he's the classic thief with a heart of gold, right? He's the rogue with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
And they see right through the rogue.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, your gold is way too...
Shiny. Well, I love when Book says he seems very protective of his crew, which brings us to our next point.
Light it.
But her brother just adores her, willing to die with her.
Time to go.
Sacrificed a lot to help her.
Yeah. And the crew left. They almost left them there. And here's Jane, who really wanted to leave them there.
Well, look at this! Here's the guy there just in the nick of time. What does that make us?
Big damn heroes, sir.
Ain't we just? Us, folks. Y'all got something that belongs to us, and we'd like it back.
This is a holy cleansing. You cannot think to thwart God's will.
Y'all see the man hanging out of the spaceship with the really big gun? Now, I'm not saying you weren't easy to find. Was kind of out of our way, and he didn't want to come in the first place. Man's looking to kill some folks. Really, it's his will y'all should worry about thwarting. Cut her down.
Girl is a witch.
Yeah, but she's our witch. So cut her the hell down.
You want quips? Big damn heroes.
If this ship falls under 50 quips an hour, it's rigged to explode.
So that's the scene, but here's the payoff and the principle.
Okay.
So finally, a decent wound on this ship, and I miss out. I'm sorry.
Well, you were busy trying to get yourself lit on fire. It happens.
It happens.
Captain, why did you come back for us?
You're on my crew.
Yeah, but you don't even like me. Why'd you come back?
You're on my crew. Why are we still talking about this? 2010. No need to dress.
And your classic TV. look around after they said the last line, like, ooh, what are we feeling?
Ponder, yeah.
I'm gonna think.
Listen, but Mal's integrity and honor is one of the greatest things of this show.
It is fantastic.
What I love most about Mal is that he has a heart of gold and he's pissed about it.
He's just furious all the time. He's always so mad that he's doing the right thing.
Yes, he would much rather be doing the wrong and easy thing.
And he's constantly like, damn it, I'm gonna do the right thing again. Awesome. Best character ever.
But you look at your family, or you look at your team at work, or you look at anyone that you're trying to form a cohesive unit with.
Mm-hmm.
And on the one hand, it seems like, well, it's going to be easier if we just get a bunch of like-minded people together. But like-minded people don't innovate.
Right.
You need some of the tension of the difference to make things pop.
Yeah.
And to make things... And that's not to say you want the chaos of total disharmony.
Right.
But you need the differences. And when he says, you don't even like me, so why'd you come back?
You're on my crew.
Yeah.
Duh.
Because the principle is you look after who you're with. And so often, loyalty and connection follows the behavior. Like, we often think of it of, I care about people because we felt this connection and now I care about them. Or I have loyalty to somebody because we get along.
Right.
As opposed to, they showed me integrity and decency, and then I'm loyal to them. Especially because in this episode earlier, there's a flashback of Simon's father saying, you get in trouble, I will not come for you.
Right.
And then here's the captain coming back for him. Why? Because you're on my crew.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, such a good show.
I'd do anything for you. You know that.
Mal got himself shot.
And stranded on a ship for an entire bottle episode. Except it's not a bottle episode because there's a million flashbacks.
Welcome back, sir.
I go someplace?
Very nearly.
I thought we lost you.
Oh, I've been right here. Wash, you okay?
Yeah, Mal, I'm fine.
You got a thing in your arm?
Yeah. Try not to speak. Heavily medicated, you lost a lot of blood.
Oh. I thought I ordered you all off the ship. I call you back?
No, Mal, you didn't.
I take full responsibility, Captain.
The decision saved your life.
Won't happen again, sir.
Good. And thanks, I'm grateful.
It was my pleasure, sir.
Well, hey, you know, we'd have been back first if there's something wrong with Nara's shuttle. She's done something to it, Mal. It smells funny.
I told you that's incense.
So you say.
Hey, Cap.
Hey.
You fixed the ship. Good work.
So what I love is just how much of a family they are. The
All right.
sheer amount of warmth between
I
them.
have to insist the captain needs to rest.
Which isn't always there.
Yeah.
No.
I think the doc might not be wrong about that one. Just gonna need a few.
His sleepy drunk acting is fantastic.
Y'all gonna be here when I wake up?
We'll be here.
Good. That's good.
So what's powerful and represented in the scene, and this is the next principle, which is make a home of wherever you are.
Yep.
Right? And for him, the ship represents freedom, so he's flashing back to when he first bought it. And this guy's trying to sell him this ship and how great it is. And I know we talk about there's no such thing as love at first sight, but this is pretty close. Because for Mal, like Captain Jack Sparrow, the ship is freedom.
Son,
And it's a home.
you hear a word I've been saying?
And he hasn't had either of those things for a while. And what I love about this group, this crew, so you have a happily married couple.
Mm-hmm.
You have a mechanic who is an eternal, cheerful optimist.
Yep.
You have a mercenary who is as self-serving and cynical as they get.
And dumb.
And dumb.
You know what the chain of command is? It's a chain I go get and beat you with till you understand who's in rotten command here.
And you have a highly intelligent, educated doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You have a mentally traumatized girl. You have a preacher. You have a captain who's vacillates between atheist and angry theist.
Yep.
And then you have a Buddhist bisexual progressive companion.
Yeah.
All of their ways of living, contrast. All of their ways of thinking, contrast. And clash. And we showed you a very warm-hearted scene because everybody almost died, so they're kind of in a better place with one another.
Mm-hmm.
But what's beautiful to me about this team is how they accept influence from each other. is how instead of saying, you don't see things the way I do, therefore you're wrong, you're stupid, you're mistaken, you're evil, which is kind of how the world is working, you know?
A lot of the time, yeah.
There is learning from each other. And so to me, it's a really beautiful scene because these are all people he's fought with. I mean, Mal has fought with literally every person there.
Yeah, exactly.
But he has also demonstrated that he's willing to die for every person there.
Right.
In fact, that's exactly what he was doing when they came back for him. So I love that. Are you still going to be here when I wake up? I have a question for you. I've almost never seen a show with the cast chemistry across the board that this cast has.
It is a weird amount of alchemy.
Sorcery.
It's what you always aim for, and it's very, very hard to achieve. You try to cast the best person for the role, and then when you find someone who's really good for the role, you try and see if they'll fit. And like, if there's somebody who's just really, really not going to fit, you won't cast them even if they're really good for the role. If it's going to really destabilize the rest of everything, you just develop a rapport or you go insane.
Yeah.
Welcome to movies. Or television. It's one of the best casts all time for any television show. If I knew what the secret was, I would be doing that, not this.
Yeah. So closing that up, all relationships take work. So I'm not saying stay in abusive relationships.
No.
But all relationships have arguments. All relationships have you don't see eye to eye. All of them take work. And what I love as the show progresses is you watch them put in the work. And some put it in earlier. Kaylee's just arrives ready to love everybody.
Yep.
Right? And Jane takes a while to come around because Jane is as self-serving as they come, and he tries to sell out Simon and River to the authorities
Who are wanted.
because there's a bounty on their head. And when Mal finds out, because they think Jane's a hero, and
yeah, they think that he saved them from this heist gone wrong.
yeah, and we get to this.
Mal's a little bit quicker on the uptake.
You want to kill me? Shoot me! Just let me
He's
in!
gonna send him out the airlock into space.
You know, I hear tell they used to keel haul traders back in the day. I don't have a keel to haul you on, so.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, all right?
Sorry for what, Jane? I thought you'd never do such a thing.
Money was too good. I got stupid. I'm sorry, okay? Be reasonable. What are you taking it so personal for? It ain't like I ratted you out to the feds.
Oh, but you did. You turn on any of my crew, you turn on me. But since that's a concept you can't seem to wrap your head around, then you got no place here.
You did it to me, Jane. And that's a fact.
What are you gonna tell the others?
About what?
About why I'm dead?
I hadn't thought about it.
Make something up. Don't tell them what I did.
The next time you decide to stab me in the back,
Have the guts to do it to my face.
Can I come in?
So principle number 5 is to create loyalty by being loyal, by showing loyalty.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is, it is true. There are some times that people have to be let go.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's an economic decision. I think it's even harder when it's a team dynamic decision. Because economic decision, you can at least blame it on, hey, we wanted to keep you. It's still super sad.
Oh, like in an employment
Yeah,
scenario?
yeah. But when it's a team situation, because you have somebody that, if you're a leader like Mal, you really try to make it work. Because loyalty is, I'm not just going to kick you to the curb the first sign of trouble.
Yeah.
Right? But Jane has shown that he is, the rest of the team's not safe.
Right.
The rest of the crew's not safe. And Mal's loyalty to his crew means that one of them's going to go to protect the others.
Yep.
And this is why they're all gathered around his bedside, because Mal has shown time and time again his loyalty to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so he earns that loyalty back in return. He's been captured. He's being tortured. They're going in for him. Preacher man who sits out on the heists, but he's going in on this one.
Book, you
good?
Yes, ma'am. Ready when you are.
Kaylee, how you doing on that override sequence?
Pretty sure this will pop their airlock doors if Wash can get a seal on his first try.
Smelling a lot of if coming off this plant.
You could have stayed in your bunk.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
We're set.
Okay, people. If it moves, shoot it.
Unless it's the captain.
Unless it's the captain.
You know, which leads to one of the great all-time exchanges of...
Don't the Bible have some pretty specific things to say about killing?
Quite specific. It is, however, somewhat fuzzier on the subject of kneecaps.
Easy on the subject of kneecaps.
So principle 6 is find the group that will reciprocate your love and loyalty. Because the fact is, if you're showing up for people time and time again, and they're taking you for granted and they're not showing up for you, and you communicate that and they still don't change, it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means this isn't your team.
Right.
So back to a little bit ago, Jane's secret doesn't stay secret for long.
Nope.
As Simon and River find out, and this is another thing I love about Firefly is it's an exploration of morality, but the show itself doesn't have a specific morality that it's promoting.
Right.
As much as all of the characters have their different values that they bring to the table, and we see that right here, is just priceless.
What's going on?
You got knocked out.
Did we get a payoff? Did we get the money?
Can you move your arms and legs?
Huh? They're not moving.
Do you want to know why? Your spine. You hit it pretty hard when you fell.
Oh. Fine.
Yes. So I gave you something to knock out your motor function so you wouldn't wrench it when you came to. Should wear off in a half an hour. You'll just be bruised.
Fine, okay?
How much did they offer you to sell out me and River on Ariel?
That's crazy talk.
Then let's talk crazy. How much?
Anybody there? Anybody else?
You're in a dangerous line of work, Jane. Odds are you'll be under my knife again, often. So I want you to understand one thing very clearly. No matter what you do, or say, or plot, no matter how you come down on us, I will never, ever harm you. You're on this table, you're safe. So I'm your medic. And however little we may like or trust each other, we're on the same crew. Got the same troubles, same enemies, and more than enough of both. Now, we could circle each other and growl, sleep with one eye open, but that thought wearies me. I don't care what you've done. I don't know what you're planning on doing, but I'm trusting you. I think you should do the same. Because I don't see this working any other way.
Also, I can kill you with my brain.
You can't ever just get out of a nice, wholesome, like uplifting scene without a joke.
No, you can't. And it's one of the reasons why I love the show.
One of the reasons I love the show.
So principle number 7 is that trust is a choice.
Yep.
And you should have safeguards in place to protect yourself.
For sure.
And then make that choice. And that's true in business and that's true in family. And I love, Jane he comes from a cutthroat world.
Yeah.
And everybody's looking out for themselves. And Mal has tried to teach him loyalty and tried to teach him values, and it's just not sinking in.
Mm-hmm.
But when the people that he sold out, and he would fully expect them to hurt him, kill him, or sell him out, when Simon says to him, I will never hurt you because I'm your medic.
Yeah.
And the thought of sleeping with one eye open wearies me. I think we need to choose to trust each other because it's not going to work anyway. Like, I think that's so beautiful, and it models for Jane something he's never experienced.
This is a foreign concept to him, yeah.
And we see this is a later episode on the show, and we get to the film Serenity, And he's not willing to sell them out anymore. He's willing to find a place to
drop them off.
To drop them off, but he's not willing to sell them out anymore. When we see in Serenity something that's undervalued and not spoken of enough, that by the end of the film, in the big firefight, Jane is saving members of his surrogate family. He's dragging them to safety.
Yeah.
The character who's always just looking out for himself is running in front of fire to pull people in. And you get that people respect integrity. But the safeguard, of course, is River saying to him,
but I can kill you with my brain.
Right? If you try and double cross us, I'll kill you through telekinesis. Which she probably could, actually.
Listen, we don't know if she has that power, but neither does Jane, so...
And then our last principle for unifying a team we'll talk about after we watch this clip, but this is from an episode called The Message, where an old war buddy sent them a recorded message to take him home in the event that he dies. I'm simplifying. There's a lot that goes on there.
Yeah.
And then he does die. And this is what happens.
So, that was the plan. That was a good plan.
I think so.
They hatched a whole plan to like keep him safe, even though he'd put them in danger.
You weren't that far off about me being stupid.
And he didn't trust them.
And so he got shot for it.
So he got shot for it.
Not once after the war. Kaylee, I'm so sorry. I didn't...
Took her as a hostage to save himself. He was just scared.
Sard.
Right here.
That stupid message of mine, and I was trying to play you guys, and now...
Now I'm actually dying.
You'll do it. You'll get me home.
Yeah. You know the old saying.
When you can't run, you crawl. And when you can't crawl, when you can't do that,
You find someone to carry you.
First of all, that may be one of the best, like the actual moment when he dies. I've seen so many death scenes in movies that I don't buy, or TV shows.
That one, that was a solid acting job for
Like
that
he
guy.
hits his head on the thing and his cheek twitches, and then like
It goes slack and his eyes, like everything. He did a really good job of just kind of letting it.
yeah, just letting it out.
Yeah.
You grieve with each other, you comfort each other, you carry each other through loss and hardship.
Yeah.
This is how you form a family. Right? This is how you create, and the thing that speaks most to me about Firefly is these aren't a lot of like-minded souls who bond together because they share the same viewpoint and the same values. And that's why it speaks to me so much about society. Like, I think there's a blueprint in this show. I know that sounds like a reach. I know that sounds like hyperbole.
We're going to solve all of society's problems with this damn show. What does that make us?
Big damn heroes.
Ain't we just?
But you can change hearts, you can change minds. Not every heart, not every mind is going to be changed, but this is how you do it. This is the blueprint.
Yeah.
And it is so freaking powerful. And I want to thank you for introducing me to this, because it has changed and shaped my life ever since.
You're welcome, buddy.
As has your friendship.
Oh,
I know, right?
Tender feels. Now we need a quip to get out of this.
I swear by my pretty floor bonnet, I will end you.
We've abstained from the popcorn this whole episode because this is my favorite flavor at this point.
It is definitely my favorite flavor.
The jalapeno cheddar. I didn't want to eat it while we were talking because it gets all over my fingers.
Listen, it's delicious, but there's evidence. It leaves evidence. Get your own at our store. You can click in the link down below. I definitely recommend the jalapeno cheddar. It tastes very deserty, and this is it's all desert planets mostly.
Yep, sure is.
Because they shot in Southern California. So until next time.
The hero of Canton, the man they call Jane.
We got to go to the crappy town where I'm a hero.
And
watch TV
series.
shows from 20 years ago.
Yeah, that works.
Thank you to our patrons for patronizing us on Patreon and for producing this piece of perspective.
Especially Darmelin, Joshua Matthews, Tori Jerry, Matches Archa, and Soondir?
I don't know.
But
it's
it's
great.
cool.
It's really cool.
And thank you for supporting our channel.
Thank you so much.